My name is Elaine Foster. I'm 52 years old, and for most of my life, I've done exactly what was expected of me. I married young, raised 2 daughters, and remained loyal to my husband, Martin, through the slow march of decades. I believed in decency, in routines, in keeping things simple. Love, to me, wasn't supposed to be exciting. It was steady, safe, like the quiet rhythm of folding laundry on Sundays. But recently, something happened. Something I didn't plan. Something I still don't fully understand. And it's left me questioning everything I thought I knew about myself. It began on a rainy Wednesday in Portland. Nothing special about it, except that my car had broken down again. Martin was tied up in meetings all afternoon, so when his colleague, Jonas Reed, offered to drive me home from the grocery store, I said yes. I knew Jonas in passing from company dinners. He's maybe mid-30s, always polite, soft-spoken, with that rare attentiveness most people stop giving each other. He was the kind of man who made you feel like your words weren't just noise. I noticed that about him, even if I never let myself think much of it. "You sure this isn't out of your way?" I asked as I settled into the passenger seat of his gray car. "Not at all," he replied with a smile. "I live 10 minutes past your place. Honestly, it's a good excuse to escape the office early." His voice was calm, low, almost soothing, and for the first time in a while, I felt safe. Not because I was in danger, but because I was being seen. The drive started with small talk. How Portland's weather can't make up its mind. How Martin once nearly set off the office fire alarm trying to fix the espresso machine. I laughed more than I expected to. I hadn't laughed like that in ages. Then we stopped at a red light on Hawthorne. Everything felt still. Jonas turned slightly toward me. "Can I ask you something, Elaine?" I nodded. "Do you ever wonder if you're still seen?" The way he said it, it wasn't suggestive. It wasn't even flirtatious. It was human. That question landed somewhere deep inside me. I turned toward the window, blinked at the rain hitting the glass. "All the time," I whispered. The light turned green, but he didn't move immediately. He waited, just long enough to let the silence say what I couldn't. Then he drove on. When he pulled into my driveway, he didn't turn the engine off. He just said, "I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable." "You didn't," I answered honestly. "Sometimes," he said, "I think we forget we're allowed to feel things, to want more than just going through the motions." I didn't know what to say to that, so I thanked him and got out. But something had shifted. 2 days later, Jonas texted, "Hope I'm not crossing any lines, but I'm heading to the cafe on 33rd. Would love to chat if you're free. No pressure." I could have ignored it. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. We met that afternoon at a quiet little place tucked between a bookstore and a laundromat. It smelled like cinnamon and fresh paper. I arrived early and took a corner seat. When Jonas walked in and saw me, he smiled, just softly, like he was surprised I'd come. "Thank you," he said as he sat down. "I wasn't sure if you would." "Neither was I admitted. We talked, not about anything monumental, just memories, books, music, how he sometimes falls asleep to old jazz records. I told him I used to dance in the kitchen when my girls were small, just to feel alive again. His eyes lit up. "You still could, you know." Something about that struck me. I didn't need Jonas to rescue me. I wasn't looking for an affair or even a spark. What I needed was recognition. That day, I left with nothing more than a warm cup of coffee and a different kind of awareness. A week passed. I didn't see him, and that was okay. I needed space to think, to breathe, to listen to the woman inside me who had been quiet for far too long. One night, after Martin had gone upstairs, I stayed behind, wiping down an already clean countertop. My reflection stared back at me in the window. Older, yes, but still present, still here. That night, I sat across from Martin at the kitchen table and said, "I've been feeling invisible." He looked surprised. "What do you mean?" "I don't think you really see me anymore, and I don't think I've let you." We didn't fight. We just talked, for the first time in a long while. And the next morning, I went back to that cafe. Jonas wasn't there, and I didn't need him to be. I ordered coffee, opened an old journal, and started to write. Not to start something reckless, but to start remembering myself. Because being seen isn't about anyone else. It starts with you.